Hey, I'm about to start this long video. Come on, y'all think I ain't about to, I ain't tuning into my boy Chicago scene 808. Look, I said 808, but 88, that's my boy. Look, hey, my boy really just hit 100K on their ass though. Hold up, he really just hit 100K, nigga. Ooh, ain't nothing like that first 100K. Like I'm telling you, ain't nothing like that first 100K. After the first 100K, it's like, alright, we working now. Cause we really trying to hit that imp. No, listen, nigga, trying to hit that imp. Go ahead and subscribe to your boy Snore if you're new to the channel. Turn on the notice. But yeah, we be trying to hit that imp. But listen, it's an hour-long video. So I'm gonna go to the gas station, grab some core water, you feel me? Hell yeah, I just wanted to start the video before I really get into it though. Hell yeah. Let's go, alright, it's your boy Snore, go. I'll be back though. It's been like 2 hours since I made that first intro. It's been like 2 hours, I ain't gonna cap.
Before we start the video, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I appreciate all the support I received from you. And as always, this is the story of Terry Mubarak Berry, also known as DB, or Bico, which was his nickname on the street. Like all the other stories I have made about gang members, this one is also a sad story. A boy who was good in school and participated in several different school projects, including a project against gang violence. DB was also a guy who liked martial arts and focused a lot on boxing and martial arts in middle school to be able to defend himself and his friends. It was also a way for him to stay away from the street. The road to and from training became an increasing problem as Terry got older towards the end of high school, as he had to take the bus through a few different neighborhoods to get there, and that's not a safe thing to do in Chicago. He started to bring a gun to training, and after several fights in other areas of the city.
Alright, I got a question to all the people that like live. Some of y'all be living in Chicago, or like cities that's like public transit is like real big. Cause in my city, you catch the bus like, you know what I'm saying? It ain't really frowned upon, but if you get in a heated debate about with a motherfucker, they gonna use that car like, bitch, go catch the bus with your. That's they yeah. You know what I'm saying? Now I know New York, they got trains and buses. I know Chicago, they got trains and buses too. But like, niggas don't want to get whips, or like whips ain't even like worth it. Cause I know in New York, motherfuckers don't get whips because of parking. Parking is an issue. Is that the same way in Chicago? It really don't have shit to do with this. It really just popped up in my brain. Y'all do be saying I be random as fuck, but man, let my ADHD get off. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let him do him. That's a whole nother beast.
And after several fights in other areas of the city as well as in school, and after several friends were killed, Terry himself became involved in the gang life, more or less involuntarily. It was more about survival. He got deeper and deeper into the destructive life, taking the lives of several people, which would eventually cost his own life.
Why you slide that motherfucker right up in there, like, whoop. You know what I'm saying? Whoop, that motherfucker. Let's keep going. I'm bubber talking like it ain't an hour-long video. Fuck.
Terry was born on January 28, 1996.
96, babe. You know what the fuck going on. I should get the 9 right here, then the 6, but then I don't want to damage the temple. I already do too much damage. We eat bullshit. But, fuck. Let's keep going.
On the south side of town, DB was the son of King DB, who was a well-respected OG from Paxtown and is even seen as a legend from Paxtown. According to DB himself, he had heard endless stories from older members of Paxtown about his father. He was a big hustler who withdrew large sums of money. Sadly, DB never got the chance to meet his father because he died 8 months before TB was born. DB grew up without his father, however, He had a stepfather who was there for large parts of his life. King TB died very young. He never made it to see the age of 20 and died only 19 years old.
Bruh, what the fuck? I mean, I guess it's like kind of the same how it is now. Some niggas die real young. But it's like, damn, 19, bro? Bro, I was chilling at 19. Actually, that's when me started YouTube at 19, actually. But 19? Come on.
In 2016, when TB turned 20, he described it as a very special birthday because his father never got to see that day and that he felt blessed. TB often tweeted about his father, that he wished he was alive and that things would have been different if he was still alive. Although TB never got the chance to meet his father to see how he was as a person, he looked up to him. TB also had a cousin from Pakistan named Wodi who did an interview in 2017 where he said he had lost over 30 friends to gun violence. When TB's father died, his mother moved to the south side, in the 6200 block of S. Eberhard Avenue to be precise, and gave birth to Terry, whom she raised. To my knowledge, TB had no siblings, at least none known or who moved in the same circles as him. However, he had his friends on the street who he saw as his brothers.
Yeah, buddy graduated with the prom and everything.
That's real good. I want to know, man, how many people have you lost to these streets?
Man,
Shout out some names, man. Some of the guys.
about 30. At least about 30. I can name a few that just my homie Lil Zach just died about a week ago. My homie Twan. I lost my little homie Jaleel right down here on Crandon in front of the stove. I lost my other homie Mo down here in front of the Jeffrey Sub. So, you know, I lost about a little 30 guys though. Like it's probably a little bit more know that, but I can at least say 30 off top though. Yeah.
My name Trey A, man. Hey,
Yeah.
these streets are
Bruh. 30 motherfuckers though, bro. And I lost some homies and shit I grew up with and shit. Mike, Will, I ain't about to get the name in these niggas' names. No, not on YouTube. We ain't even here for that. But look. I got a question for people in the comments. How many of y'all in real life lost some people like to the streets, and how many? Cause to me, 30 is like crazy as fuck. In one motherfucking lifetime, you lost 30 friends. Don't that sound crazy as hell? Like saying that shit out loud don't sound just absurd, ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But if y'all don't answer anything in the comment section, how many of y'all lost people in the streets and shit? Cause bro, 30 is a crazy fucking number. That's crazy.
As a child, Terry Berry attended Sexton Elementary School. In middle school, Terry was a part of this series in the Chicago Sun-Times newspaper about violence reduction strategies and the importance of recreation. Terry was in 5th grade and contributed to this story, sharing about how gang violence in his neighborhood affected his ability to play at the park, and how he enrolled in martial arts for protection. Later, Terry became serious and dedicated to boxing. Boxing kept him focused and off the streets for a long time. But just like I said in the beginning of this video, the road to and from training eventually became too dangerous for DB. He needed to take the bus through several different hoods, which was dangerous. DB therefore began to bring a weapon to the training to be able to protect himself in case something should happen. However, in the end the danger became too great and TB stopped training completely.
Screw me. Well, let's read this, boys. At Sexton, 12-year-old Terry Berry used to play basketball at the courts across the street from him. His house. It's a little blurry, my bad. But he hasn't been there months since one gang opened fire at another there in September. Now, his main form of exercise is martial art class he takes for protection. The 5th grader said kids could use more exercise. See, they ain't tell Snore this that in 5th grade. See, I can blame them. I don't know who them is, but they could have just said, hey, my nigga, I'm get on treadmill type shit. You know what I'm saying? But where I was at? Oh, he wants daily gym and recess. He says he can tell the difference tell the difference in kids after their weekly gym class. After gym, people are all happy. I ain't gonna lie, we was kind of happy after gym. Well, niggas was. Yeah. Hell yeah. There said afterwards in class, they don't get out their seats. They sit. They pay attention. They're more calm. The community stress relax prevention center in Kairata, Shermona, Israel recommends physical activity, art, and social activities for traumatized kids. And
like many other young people from the area, DB went to high school at Dunbar, which was a school that was pretty much filled with GD members from Jaro City, STL/EBT, Brick Squad and Mob. However, there were also a few members from 600 and Wick City at Dunbar. For example, both L.A. Capone and Bico from 600 attended Dunbar and Ochomona from Wick City. According to Tyquan, L.A. Capone was very exposed at Dunbar. Apparently he got beat up pretty badly nearly every week, and there are also rumors that both Bico and Ocho watched L.A. Capone get beat up without doing anything. However, I do not know if that is true. Jaro City, but especially DB and his best friend Poppy, pretty much ran Dunbar. A teacher who was really close to DB, and who was there for him and many of his friends, told in a blog post about DB that people were afraid to fight him. DB could really throw hands because of his boxing and martial arts training. DB used to beat up a lot of people in school, and at one point, during his senior year, him and Poppy allegedly started a riot, where the whole school started fighting, which resulted in the police coming to the school and shutting it down temporarily. There were often fights and even shootings outside Dunbar. Much like Hyde Park, everyone knows by now that King Von shot up Dunbar together with L.A. Capone, M. Thang and Mikado after blast his ass got jumped by Brick Squad members. OB's 600 really hated Dunbar and often went there looking for members from Jaro and STL/EBT.
Glad from Dunbar if you ain't hear about me, one punch KO motherfuckers.
You feel me? I had to drop out of high school, nigga, because folks knew while I was here, they was niggas from my hood wasn't standing on that business. LA going to Dunbar, getting his fucking brains beat in every week. I'm hearing about this shit while I'm in school. I'm hearing about all this shit. You feel me? I'm seeing this shit happen to my homie. I come back from the hood. You feel me? Motherfuckers getting that. Oh yeah, woo. They just call LA. I see LA. LA got fucking. He look like a skeleton, folks. On BD, both his eyes black, his nose got a bump in it, all type of shit, folks. You feel me? Like, they done beat my homie 3-4 times. I'm steady going to school out there. I can't even rock out with my nigga, folks. Cause folks so gangster, he gonna keep going to school because he ain't finna make them think they moved him out of school. You feel me? All type of niggas then stop going to school with folks. There's so many niggas in Dunbar that just all of a sudden, when the ops got in that bitch, like everybody wanted to go to Dunbar when the BDs was deep as hell in Dunbar. Soon as the ops fake made it a competition in that bitch, for them started getting up out of there. For them, it was all good. Everybody going to school every day when all the guys in that bitch. Soon as the ops migrated in that bitch and make it an even playing field, motherfucker getting up out of there.
Damn.
Niggas ain't even wanna got them be in that bitch. For them, so LA going in that bitch, folks fighting, niggas ain't helping, niggas getting up out of there, acting like they ain't see niggas and shit. So,
damn, that's fucked up. And they really sending them niggas to this. I mean, they do live close by and shit, but they know what the fuck going on. In this instance, they know what the fuck going on. You ain't tell me Chicago only got one school, nigga. What the fuck? That shit crazy. But now I'm thinking about it though. Some niggas probably got kicked out of certain schools, so why they couldn't go. You know what I mean? Why they couldn't. Yeah, you know. But damn.
Recently, DB had a teacher who was close to him, who helped him and his friends and was also there in his private life. For example, when Poppy from Tyquan World was shot dead, she was there with DB and his friends at his funeral. In the blog post I mentioned earlier, which is basically a whole story about TB's life, she mentioned that she has nothing positive to say about Dunbar's educational establishment. Only 49% of the young people in the area graduated from high school. However, DB was good in school and graduated from Dunbar in 2015. However, he was close to not being allowed to do so when he was suspended from school just a few months before the last week in school. The suspension was due to the school seeing him as a gang leader. However, TB got the chance to return to school a week later. The teacher who was close to TB also told about how she used to drive home TB and his friends to their neighborhood to make sure they came home safe. She also helped TB get a job for the summer after high school. TB told her that he was upset that he did not have a job and that he asked her to help him. She told him who was in charge and if he wanted a job he should show up every day and ask for one, and tell them he was willing to do anything at all, including clean the toilets.
Hey, man. Cause some of y'all never really had to clean no damn toilet, bro. I realize I've had to do that before. That shit is, nigga, a whole middle school. The little girls is just as nasty as the little boys. It was a middle school, so you know, little girls, they starting to get every month. You know what I mean? These little motherfuckers, they doing whatever with them bloody things. I'm looking at the bathroom. What the fuck is this? What? And then the little boys, hey, no. The little boys, they said, fuck the urinal. I got a nice wall right here. Bro, you gotta be, hey, what that word say, pride? You gotta throw all the ego out the door. Pride, nigga. Bro. And then the head boss, man, fuck all that. I ain't back getting all that.
In 2015. However, he was close to not being allowed to do so when he was suspended from school just a few months before the last week in school. The suspension was due to the school seeing him as a gang leader. However, TB got the chance to return to school a week later. The teacher who was close to TB also told about how she used to drive home TB and his friends to their neighborhood to make sure they came home safe. She also helped TB get a job for the summer after high school. TB told her that he was upset that he did not have a job and that he asked her to help him. She told him who was in charge and if he wanted a job he should show up every day and ask for one, and tell them he was willing to do anything at all, including clean the toilets. It worked. He got a job at the coffee shop down the street. He loved that job and had pride in getting it. TB came into criminal life around 2012 to 2013 after he started hanging out with other young members from Jaro City and STL/EBT such as KI, who pretty much taught DB and other younger members like Lil Bubba, LC, and Richie Jerk how to rob people and how to do hits. When you grow up in an area like TB did, where gangs are as palpable as they actually are, when all your friends are in
Palpable. We gotta Google that one. Hell no. Alright, Chicago scene, bro. You can't be using them shits. Palpable. A feeling of or atmosphere so intense to seem almost tangible.
involved, your closest friends can be in danger, you yourself can be killed just because you stay around your friends, then it is very difficult to stay away from that life. In the years when TB came up, there was no Tyquan world of which he would later be a member. TB was originally one of many shorties from Jaro City together with people like I mentioned earlier, Tyquan, Lil Bubba and Richie Jerk. Sure, Tyquan was killed in the summer of 2012, but it took a long time before Tyquan World established itself as its own set. Tyquan World was first one of many branches within Jaro City. There are, for example, Tutu Gang and Hottie World. I will now tell you the story of Tyquan World and why it took so long to establish itself. It all depended on one person, K.I. On June 24, 2012, Tyquan Tyler was shot dead outside.
Oh no, I got yeah. Boy, we back.
Outside a party in the 6200 block of South Rhodes Avenue, Jaro territory. 13-year-old Tyquan was at a party with his 19-year-old sister when a fight broke out around 1:20 a.m. The two siblings ran away from the party and onto a street and then into a nearby alley. Two older guys, Wayne and Nate from Jaro City, followed them and fired shots at Tyquan, striking him once in the chest. Tyquan collapsed in the alley, and when paramedics found him, he was already dead on the spot. According to police, neither Tyquan nor his sister were in a gang. However, it is quite well known that Tyquan was a member of the same gang as his killer, Nate and Wayne. who were members of Jaro City. It was no coincidence that Tyquan was killed. He was best friends with none other than Ki from STL/EBT, who he got to know through FBG Buddha, who originally came from Jaro. The three became very close friends around the middle of 2011, roughly after OD from Wick City was killed. Tyquan jumped off the porch in early 2012. He did not shoot any ops yet, but he went on robbing sprees almost every other week along with Ki and Buddha. They often robbed people from Dipset 650, E-Block and even guys from his own set, Jaro City. Tyquan was taught by Jakira to rob older guys, because the younger ones were not close to the older members, so it did not matter if they did anything against them. The older guys were also less likely to retaliate in any type of way, because older guys have in many cases stopped playing with guns, stopped shooting and killing people. For the most part, it worked for Tyquan. Along with Ki, he robbed multiple people from different sets they actually were cool with. Tyquan's robbing spree, along with him starting to hang with STL's main killers, made his name ring bells, and he became well known across the GD sets in the area, but also for their main enemies, O-Block and 600. Tyquan made himself a big target. All it took was for someone to not care about his age and try to kill him, and that's exactly what happened in early 2012 when he got shot at for the first time by King Von. A few weeks prior to the incident, Von had gotten shot at by Ki and Wooski on King Drive. Von luckily managed to escape the situation and was not touched by any bullets. A few weeks after that incident, Von and Scud from a block walked around on EBT's block, looking to score. They spotted Tyquan, Wooski and Ki across the street and started shooting at them without hitting anyone, and Ki, Wooski and Tyquan were quickly out of sight as they ran away through a nearby alley. About a month and a half before Tyquan's death, he made a big mistake. He robbed Nate from Jaro City. Tyquan did not know that this particular OG was a killer, and one of the guys who did not qualify as a stain or lick he could hit. Nate was really with it, even at that age. He could not tolerate Tyquan getting away with robbing him. Ki was actually familiar with this information and tried to make things right between the two, and succeeded for a while. It was all cool between the two for a couple of weeks because Ki thought she had talked Nate into it by saying that Tyquan did not know better, because he was just a child. All of this only for a couple of weeks later for Nate to hit up Wayne and plot on killing Tyquan, which they did and ended up getting locked up for. After the murder of Tyquan, Tyquan World was formed, which at first was just another name for Jaro City, just like Tutu Gang or Hottie World. Tyquan World was actually never supposed to become its own set. Even people like Ki and Lil Bubba, who's obviously a member of it now, was against the whole idea of creating Tyquan World. The reason for this was because the people who came up with the idea around mid-2013 did not know Tyquan so well, which is why Ki and others did not like it. Tyquan's death was also a reason why KI became bitter against Jaro City. Others swept it under the rug and did not blame Jaro as a whole. Dutchie was also bitter against Jaro in the beginning but got over it after a few years. What made the relationship between KI and Jaro City even worse was that Jaro seemed to co-sign the idea of Tyquan World, with the majority of Tyquan World being made up of guys from Jaro City, along with a couple of STL members like KI's brother, who was also close to Tyquan, just like herself, and Lucky, who claimed Tyquan World at first but went back to mostly affiliating himself with just STL, because what many people do not know, about half of Tyquan World was always looked at as goofies trying to get clout off Tyquan's name. But after many of the shorties like Lil Bubba, DB, Twan, D-Money, LC and others started to do more in the streets and eventually started to catch bodies, it became its own set. Truth to be told, if KI still had been alive today she would probably have been Tyquan World herself after all. The reason I say this is because KI was on the verge of taking D-Thang's idea, starting her own thing, with her being the captain of the team. A few months prior to KI's death, more and more shorties started to claim Tyquan World and not too long after KI was killed, the shorties started claiming Tyquan World for real and established themselves as its own set. The younger people that KI once brought up started to put in heavy work and became a major problem for O Block.
I mean, I see her take on it, but I also see they take on it. You feel me? Someone might cross paths or hung with dude once or twice and really fuck with him. Now I don't know if it's like real like fake shit going on type shit, but I see her point for sure.
Now back to the story. Just as I just mentioned, a few months before KI's death, many younger members from Jaro and STL/EBT started claiming Tyquan World, and that was also around the time when the first body dropped from Tyquan World. Of course I'm talking about the murder that got D Rose life imprisonment, the killing of Big V from Tyquan World. This murder would change TB's life forever, because what not many know, TB was actually present when Big V got shot to death. Chicago police said that Wenzel Richardson, 14, also known as Big V, was walking with 3 to 5 other teens in the 6100 block of South Vernon Avenue about 8:20 p.m. February 12, 2014. A white van pulled up and a gunman inside opened fire. Richardson, who was walking home from a convenience store, was shot in the head and died on the scene. The people who was rumored to have been in the van was D Rose, C-Day and Lil Boo from 600, and Lil Loss from Front Street. D Rose and Lil Loss were allegedly the ones that let off the shots, and according to D-Money, 13 years old, who cooperated with the police, it was D Rose who shot Big V from inside the van. He recognized D Rose from social media and Chief Keef videos, he said. The friends Big V was walking with were TB, D-Money, Moog, Xi and White Mike from Tyquan World. Big V got shot in the head right in front of them. DB and the others luckily managed to dodge the bullets and the van drove off. I will go through this whole case in another video.
My clique is unique. We stay on the mic. We never go to sleep. Always on the grind. Never waste time. We avoid crime. Bad bustin' rhymes. My swag is to hustle, not to cost.
That nigga listened to Project Pat. Kinda crazy, didn't he? Hey, didn't he have like a Project Pat flow?
trouble. Whatever you do, I can do double.
This was not the first time TB lost someone, even though his former teacher stated that he was never the same after one of his best friends Wenzel was murdered right in front of him. TB was close to several people from STL/EBT and Jaro who died in both 2011 and 2012. Many of them went to the same school together. He was close to people like Tutu, Lil B, Dale and Modell. Tyquan World had also lost a member a month before Wenzel was killed. Lil Mo. He was shot to death by Manny Fresh from STL/EBT, this after Lil Mo beat up his sister while they were dating. Manny Fresh, whose real name is Daryl Lee, got charged with the murder but eventually beat it in trial and got released in 2020. This was an individual internal event and it stayed there. Most took Manny Fresh's side because many thought he was doing the right thing. In addition, he is one of STL/EBT's originals. In addition, Tyquan World was still not in motion by that time, understand me right. There were many who claimed Tyquan World but it was not its own set in the same way as it is today. It was very mixed in the beginning, most claiming both Jaro and Tyquan World, or STL/EBT and Tyquan World. TW was not as strong and organized back then as it is now.
Let's take it back to 2010 when Lil Durrell Tutu watching me from the deuce making show my safe way home.
Almost exactly 2 months after the murder of Wenzel, it was time for the next murder, the murder of the person who was actually closest to Tyquan, and who was against the whole idea of forming Tyquan World. I'm talking about the murder of KI, as I have gone through both in the video about herself, and the video about King Von, because he was one of the killers. So there's no point in going deeper into that murder. It was really after this assassination it all culminated, and Tyquan World really became its own group of members who only claimed Tyquan World. They were no further than the branch of Jaro City even though they were still close to them. DB, LC, Dwayne, Bubba, D-Money, Mook and other shorties that KI once upon a time had brought up now started putting in work in Tyquan World's name and put themselves on the map. About 2 weeks after the murder of KI, Tyquan World, with the help of STL/EBT, showed what they had learned from her. Lil Twan from Tyquan World and Can't Get Right from STL/EBT were on the hunt to get payback for KI. They pretty much did not care who they got and killed a member called Lil Sam from a block. Tyquan World was now in full effect and the next year, 2015, DB would catch his first body, a childhood friend, as payback for his childhood friend. Now we have come to April 2015. The year and month when TB allegedly caught his first body. The murder of Capo from Front Street. What makes this event and story so incredibly tragic and sad is that Capo and TB were childhood friends. They had been friends for over 10 years. Played together as kids and ate from the same table. Even when they got older, even though they ended up on different sides, they still kept in touch and met. However, that would change and it was all due to the murder of Big V, where Front Street was involved. A few months after the murder of Big V, Capo started mocking Big V. and that was when TB and Capo started fallout with each other. It all got even worse when Capo started mocking Lil Mo, who I talked about earlier, and Lil Mo was actually TB's cousin. The friendship was gone between the two. TB felt very offended by Capo, who could not even refrain from mocking his dead cousin. It was at this point that TB allegedly decided to hunt him down and kill him. It all went down on April 20th, 2015. This was an easy score for TB. He knew where and how Capo used to move on the street. Tyquan World was in traffic and drove around King Drive. They spotted Capo in the 6000 block of South King Drive. It is rumored that TB
Hold on. So we got the with the cousins and beefing, right? But niggas that was best friends for over 10, not best friends, close friends for over 10 years, ate at the same tables, played as kids. That shit ain't fucking bonkers to you niggas? It ain't just baffling? Oh, y'all got me digging out words. But it ain't crazy? Huh?
jumped out of the car and shot Capo 6 times in his back, and then hopped back in the car and sped off from the scene. Capo, 18, whose real name was Marshawn Fleming Jr., was taken to Strawger Hospital in critical condition and later pronounced dead. This was incredibly cold-blooded, done by TB, allegedly killing his childhood friend. What makes it even more tragic, sad and disrespectful is that one day after the murder of Capo, TB uploaded a picture on Twitter together with Capo with the text, "Everybody knew that you were my brother," along with another picture from his other Twitter account with the text, "Show respect to my browski." I do not know what to call this type of behavior, if it's sociopathic or psychopathic, or just simply tragic. 2 days after the murder, a Tyquan World member also tweeted, "Bico in the cut like tutu, better watch your back." As you all know, TB was also a rapper, and in the song Sacked Up, together with Poppy and Richie Jerk, TB refers to the murder of Capo with the line, "Caught his first body, threw up in a sink." TB also tweeted a day after the murder that it felt like he was going to throw up, and that is my
Nigga said, I don't know if it's sociopathic. The fuck is a sociopath? I always heard of a psychopath. Sociopath. Alright, hold on. Psychopath. Alright, so sociopaths, it's basically the same shit. A weak ability to feel empathy or remorse. A psychopath basically don't give a fuck. It's a lot of psychopaths and sociopaths walking around this bitch. No, for real. Alright.
was broken. Now many are probably wondering how people really found out that it was TB who allegedly murdered him. Well, it was because TB used to DM a fan on Twitter about all his bodies, and there is still a screenshot left from that chat, where TB sent a screenshot of Capo's Instagram page. I do not know why TB did this, if it was because he wanted to brag about who he allegedly killed, or if he wanted the fan to put it out on YouTube to boost his reputation in the streets. Either way, this is the reason why the internet knows about this and all his other alleged bodies.
like we was in the ring. All this first body threw up in the sink. Phone them and stuck up, we stuffing a crust. Hold up.
I thought they was talking about GBE Capo. Alright. We going back and forth with this shit though. I don't want him.
After the murder of his childhood friend Capo, it was fairly quiet out on the street between Tyquan World and their rivals. However, both sides were still active and shot up each other's hoods back and forth. DB and Bubba were Tyquan World's most active members in 2015. At one point they shot up 600 and a block almost every week together. They were extremely close around this time. Although no bodies were dropped after Capo, Tyquan World managed to shoot several members from 600 O Block and Front Street. In March 2015, Joey from A Block was shot in the face by LC from Tyquan World. Fortunately, Joey survived the shot, but the bullet went through his right eye and tragically blinded him. Tyquan World gave LC the nickname LC Leave Them Blind after the incident. Towards the end of 2015, it started to get really hot between Tyquan World and 600. In September 2015, Tyquan World was close to equalizing the score with 600. It is rumored that Lil Bubba caught Bite Down from 600 on his bicycle on a street and shot him 2 or 3 times. Bite Down luckily survived the shooting, and later that year, Bite Down shot up a car filled with Tyquan World members. Later in December, Lil Twan shot both Michi and Quano from Front Street in A Block. Both survived. However, the next year, 2016, would top 2015, because bodies started to drop. Tyquan World established itself further, and O Block actually began to see Tyquan World as a threat. However, they were still not that worried about them. The more experienced members who already had bodies under their belts like D-Roy, E-Dog, BJ, Duke and Gleesh still focused more on Jaro City and STL/EBT, while the younger members like DQ, Muwap and Cheno had to take care of Tyquan World, but that would change after 2016.
Y'all read that too? Hold on. Charged with killing his pregnant girlfriend, her brother, and shooting their. Okay, buddy. Bruh. Alright, bro. I just want to make sure everybody read this shit.
Now we have come to the year 2016, and you can actually describe that year with one sentence. Tyquan World, STL/EBT and Jaro City gave a block, Front Street and 600 Hell in 2016. They literally torched them, mostly for what they did while King Bun was out, dropping P5, Boss Trell, KI and Model. The gang that probably went most crazy out of the three was Tyquan World, and not least DB, who became one of the most feared members from their side after allegedly catching 3 bodies in the same year. So much happened in 2016, and in order not to confuse anything, I will go through everything in chronological order. In June 2016, the 17th to be exact, it is rumored that TB caught his second body, this time on Nico Gang. It is rumored Nico Gang had been shooting at Tyquan World members earlier in 2016. And one of the shooters was apparently a member named Melvin, also known as Melvo. Tyquan World, who did not quite take Nico Gang that seriously since they mostly consisted of shorties, therefore decided to try to catch a member from Nico Gang. It is rumored that DB and Lil Daryl from Jaro City were the ones who took on the task of trying to kill a member of Nico Gang. On June 17, 2016 they succeeded. Melvo was sitting in a car together with his friend in an alley in the 6500 block of South Hamilton Avenue. DB and Lil Daryl allegedly walked up to the car and asked them where they were from. According to the friend in the car, Melvo replied, "I'm not about that." Then DB and Lil Daryl allegedly opened fire and shot Melvo in the head. His friend luckily managed to get out of the car and escape the situation without any harm. DB and Lil Daryl fled the scene and were never caught. Melvo, 16, whose real name was Melvin Cook, who lived in the 5700 block of South Calumet, was pronounced dead at the scene at 9:27 p.m. Melvin's mother, Lakeisha, was totally broken after she found out about the shooting. She said, "I do not know what to do. I do not know how I'm going to bury him. I just bought a plane ticket to Mississippi, and now he's dead."
Wait, hold up. Hold the fuck up. TB and Lil Daryl, a few hours for the alleged killing. There's a good chance that TB is holding the murder weapon. Alright, bruh. This shit getting out of hand. This shit getting very out of hand. What the fuck? That shit ain't... Alright, fuck it. Fuck it. What the fuck? And I don't mean to be laughing, but like, damn.
Exactly 1 month after the murder of Melvo, it was time again. DB was, according to rumors, yet again involved in murder that took place on July 17, 2016. This time, a body from a block was dropped. I'm talking about the murder of BJ's little brother, Cheno. However, there is a lot of controversy surrounding this murder, as members of a block believe that Tyquan World and STL/EBT had nothing to do with the murder of Cheno, which they also said about Big A, which turned out to be true. G.I. Joe and Can't Get Right had nothing to do with the murder of Big A, which Muwap pointed out in a discussion with Richie Jerk from Twitter in 2017. Just as I have mentioned in previous videos, take my videos with a grain of salt. Not everything is true.
You gave me taking snore sauce, bro. Hold on. Hold on, bro. No, I'm just fucking with you.
It's all rumors. However, I will still tell the theory that STL/EBT and Tyquan World were actually the ones who got Cheno, as well go through what argues that it was not them, and that it was actually No Love City who got him. Cheno was walking with his girlfriend in the 5700 block of South Union Avenue, which is MOE No Love City territory, and actually the street where King Von's sister Kayla grew up. A car pulled up, and according to Cheno's former teacher, who made a post about his death, they asked Cheno where he and his friend could get some weed. Cheno is said to have answered, "I have no idea." Then they exchanged some more words, and the one he was talking to pulled up a gun and shot him in the chest. Cheno fell to the ground and his girlfriend ran in panic from the scene. Moments later, the other man in the car took the gun and hopped out of the car, and emptied the rest of the clip into Cheno's chest. Cheno was found lifeless at the scene and taken to St. Bernard Hospital, where he sadly was ultimately pronounced dead. The first theory, and the theory that most people know about, is that it was Tyquan World that killed Cheno. According to that theory, No Love City members spotted Cheno and gave Tyquan World the drop on him. Then Poppy, DB and Can't Get Right got in traffic and spotted him. Poppy was allegedly the one that pulled out his gun and shot Cheno in the chest, and that DB was the one who jumped out of the vehicle and emptied the rest of the clip into Cheno's chest. It is rumored that he did that due to the fact that he had personal issues with Cheno, and had even mentioned him in several tweets 2 months before the murder. What suggests that this theory is true is that there is Facebook posts from a block members, friends and family that is mocking Poppy and saying RIP to Cheno the same day Poppy was killed, and the day after. It is very common for members to say RIP to friends when their killers die. It does not have to mean that it is actually the killer. It can also mean that they have taken revenge by killing one of their members. But just as we saw after the murder of King Von, where several members and families said RIP to Von's alleged victims, it usually means that their killer is dead. What contradicts this theory, however, is that Cheno would never have stood and talked that way with Poppy, DB and Can't Get Right. He would have recognized them immediately and run away, because he knew who they were and what they looked like. However, this argument depends a lot on whether it is actually true what the teacher said about them exchanging words seconds before he was shot. The second theory, just as I
We all seen that post? Okay then. I feel like this is a good stopping point. Don't y'all? Yeah. Hey, man. It's been like 3 days since I recorded the other part. But for the most part, we back in action. Let's get into it.
As I mentioned in the previous paragraph, is that it was No Love City who actually got Cheno. According to that theory, it was Juju and Zo from No Love City that killed Cheno in their own territory. What supports this theory is that Cheno's ex-girlfriend, TK, openly wrote on Twitter that Zo killed Cheno. Days after the murder of Cheno, several tweets from both members from 600 and O Block indicated that it was NLC and Zo who were behind the murder. Just a day after the murder, Muwap tweeted, FMOE. However, a member from MOE responded to the tweet, and said that MOE had nothing to do with it. Just days after the murder, Waldo from 600, and Man from a Block also started writing to Zo from NLC on Twitter and wrote, "People will get up with you." However, there is quite a lot that speaks against this theory. The first thing that speaks against it is that O Block and NLC are hardly enemies. Both Cheno and his brother BJ are both originally from No Love City and have a lot of family there. Both Boss Top and Big also came from NLC. Both Boss Top and BJ still have contact with some people from NLC. Cheno was often out with friends in NLC's territory. He had several pictures from the street where he was killed. It does not make any sense to me why NLC would kill him. Like I said, they are barely enemies. They may not be cool with each other like that since Lamron and a Block are tight, but bodies have never been dropped between the two and no shots have been sent. What seems most likely to me is that Zo, who was close to STL/EBT and Tyquan World, gave Cheno's location to Can't Get Right, who got in traffic with DB and Poppy. Like I said before, DB had personal issues with Cheno since Cheno shot DB's cousin Young in the back. What is also strange is that after the murder of Cheno, Chino Gang on 57 and Low was formed, which was created by a group of GDs who is cool with O Block. That may be the reason why King Von, in a live stream on Instagram, said that Low is cool.
Damn, he got 26 years.
You on 63rd, gang. You bogus.
They got big roaches in Parkway.
I'm phoning this fucked up on 62nd, 63rd.
They got some nice little models.
And No Love dirty as hell. They lame as hell.
No
over
Love
there.
is not dirty. Now that's fine.
GD ass hood. That shit lame as hell over there.
No Love is lame, but
Yeah.
dirty. No Love, they
Which part of No Love you talking about?
I'm from 59, nigga.
What street? Lame as fuck, okay? I thought you was gonna say M. You should have said lower M. What's some of them?
Hey, Top, he trying to go on low.
Low cool. That's the only one.
Nigga, I'm from all, I used to.
DB was extremely active throughout 2016, probably the most active member from both Tyquan World and STL/EBT. 1 month after Cheno was killed, DB caught just below from 600. He shot at him and tried to chase him down. Luckily, without success. The next month, in September, DB was extremely close to catching his fourth body. It is rumored that TB caught Mano from Front Street and shot him in his face. Fortunately, Mano miraculously survived the shooting. Mano has today left the criminal life after his brother, Jamo from Mob, sadly got killed by Get Back Gang the following year, 2017. Another member from Tyquan world who was also close to catching a body that month was DB's close friend Poppy, who is rumored to have caught Jock from 800 off guard, shooting him in his chest. 800 is a set that basically has war with everybody.
Damn.
Jock was mocking Big V on Facebook, which led to the shooting. Jock luckily survived. 2 times from Tyquan World actually mentioned this incident in his Crazy Story remix in 2018. Later in November 2016, it is rumored that Duck shot D-Roy in the hand. Tyquan World, Jaro and STL/EBT really were going crazy. The month after T-Roy was shot in the hand, in December, DB would catch his 4th body, the 3rd and final body of the year, and it was yet again a member affiliated with O-Block.
Buddy ass was scoring. God! Trying to chase this motherfucker down. All allegedly. But try to chase this. Oh, now he caught this mother. What the fuck? God, bruh. I'm gonna tell you boys, that shit is not life. No disrespect to these niggas. None of these niggas. RP to the ones that's falling in this video. But, bruh, that shit ain't life. That's they life for sure. Keep it hot. That's they life, but. And everything's so close. I feel like I could walk to all these hoods and won't be fucking exhausted. You know what I'm saying? That says a lot. Hold on though. That says a lot. You know what I'm saying? Probably can jog to them bitches and won't be fucking dead by the time I get there. Like I said, that says a lot. That's how close shit is. That shit's crazy. It's like they was made, set up to lose like that, bro. Usually I don't get to touching on these type of topics, but like they was set up in a fucking melting pot to fucking lose. That shit's crazy. Now, this shit's been going on way before them. All this sets and shit been established. We probably got different names now, for sure, but like they were set up to lose, though. Oh, I remember this shit. Cause now I do sell Forex and shit, right? No funny shit. But I remember, what video was that? But dude was like, dude sell Forex now. Y'all remember it, bruh. I swear. Cause I got to talking about, Forex is a scam, man. Who the fuck do that shit? That shit's a fucking scam, nigga. I got to talk about that. Yo.
Got the drop on this goofy nigga. 30 on the block, we let out shots. Almost hit his top. Heard that was legit. The fuck was you doing right there, trying to stand on the beat like your ass wasn't getting popped? But I'm just saying, but I ain't trying to snitch on my mans. The rest of King Papa Dog, and that's folks twins, so I'm.
Now we come to
that nigga turned that shit on 1,000, did he?
TV's last alleged body of the year. I'm talking about the murder of Lil Chris from MetLife, O-Block. The reason I wrote both O Block and MetLife is simply because Lil Chris pretty much claimed both. MetLife is considered by many a mix of members from a block, 600 and Front Street. I will make a video only about the history of MetLife in the future. Lil Chris lived in Parkway Gardens but was never an official member of a block. Chris mostly claimed the buildings, 6217, which is MetLife. His father and cousin Guan also claimed MetLife and were also BDs. Chris also had a brother, Carlito, who is a member from a block, and his cousin D Nice, who is Guan's brother, also claim a block. Chris was also the cousin of Shaq, blessed his ass and Hudo from 600. Lil Chris was close with several people from a block like Ocho and BJ. This affiliation, and with him living in Parkway, was the main reason why he got killed. In late 2016, just 4 days before the new year began, Lil Chris was sadly shot to death inside Parkway Gardens. Chris, 23, whose real name was Christopher D. Brown, was walking in the 6400 block of South King Drive just after 5 p.m. when two people approached and fired 2 shots, which of one striking him in the head. Chris was sadly pronounced dead on the scene. The 2 people who ran up on him are rumored to have been G.I. Joe and, yeah, I think you can guess, DB.
Damn.
About a dozen people crowded near the crime scene tape as officers investigated the shooting. Brown's body, covered by a white sheet, lay on the ground between 2 buildings. Several residents watched from their balconies and windows. Others stood outside in the cold. One woman, who said she has lived in Parkway Gardens housing for about a year, said she heard 2 gunshots before police arrived. "I can't believe I'm sitting here looking at a dead body," she said. Another resident who was arriving home from work stood outside. She said she moved to Parkway Gardens about 6 months ago, but doesn't allow her young son to play outside. "This is just the wrong neighborhood to hang out in. This is sad," she said. "Too many lives are getting lost over here, in just this one complex." Now we have come to the year 2017, which is pretty much the endgame of this story.
Damn.
This year would go down as one of the bloodiest years between OB600 and Tyquan World, Jaro and STL/EBT, much thanks to TB allegedly catching his 5th body, which was not just anyone. Most people probably already know by now who I am referring to. Of course I'm talking about a block's biggest loss of all time, together with King Von, D-Roy. As you already know, D-Roy was an outstanding member from a block, a small guy with the heart of a lion. T-Roy and King Von, who were best friends, were one of the deadliest duo in Chicago around that time.
Man, I'm waiting on Chicago Scene to drop that T-Roy story video. Yeah, I already seen one on YouTube. I actually got a video for it, but you know how I already do. I see everybody else's, but I gotta see my boy Chicago Scene, cause he ain't gonna. They don't get they shit like Chicago Scene. You feel me? They don't get they shit like him. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta ride with my boy every time. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm pretty sure that motherfucker in the making. I see he got a duck video that I hadn't even did a video for. So that's on the way. July about to be very lit, cause I ain't got shit else but time. feel like I lost my focus a little bit, but we back. We in here. We cooking. You know what I'm saying?
Both are rumored to have had 5 to 7 bodies each, and really carried a block throughout difficult times when STL/EBT and Jaro were passing out a lot of smoke. Just like I mentioned earlier in the story, DB had roots in Paxtown since his dad was an OG from there, and also had cousins in that area. DB also lived in the 7000 block of South Paxton, which is only a few blocks away from where T-Roy was killed. T-Roy and TB knew about each other before it all went down. Obviously TB knew about T-Roy since he was a high-profile member from a block, and T-Roy knew about DB after catching body after body in 2016, along with DB being a rapper and had released his most famous song, Tyquan Way, in January 2017. A month before the murder, DB had also mocked T-Roy on his Twitter. Both were out after each other. DB wanted to get rid of arguably the most high-profile member from a block, and T-Roy wanted to put DB in his place and show both TB and Tyquan World who was the real hitter. There has for a long time been rumored that D-Roy was in Paxtown looking for TB the day he was killed. Whether that's true or not I do not know. However, Lil Twan from Tyquan World in his song 62 Dead Ops indicated that it is actually true when he rapped, "Her T-Roy got hit. Why the fuck he was trying to lurk."
You think whenever...
Her T-Roy got hit. Why the fuck he was trying to lurk? Say he tried to run, but he wound up tripping on that big ass shirt. Fuck look.
On Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2017, DB caught his 5th body. T-Roy's life would end, and TB pretty much got his death warrant. T-Roy was walking on the 2000 block of East 71st Street in the South Shore area, allegedly looking for TB. DB had several pictures of him standing on the exact street, and especially outside a sports shop on that street. That day, T-Roy was out by himself looking for DB and decided to go to the street where he had seen pictures of DB, to see if he was there. It is then rumored to have been Brick from STL/EBT who spotted him and called TB to give him T-Roy's location. It was no wonder that it was Brick who spotted D-Roy because Brick, just like DB, lived in Paxtown around that time. When TB got the call, he picked up 2 times and can't get right and went to the location. But D-Roy, who was on full alert since he was lurking, spotted them and upped his gun on them and tried to chase them down. DB and the others ran and got away and went to their apartment, grabbed guns and dressed up completely black. They went back to the location and spotted T-Roy going into the store. DB waited until he was inside and then ran to the door, opened it, spotted T-Roy, who did not have time to react or up his gun, and DB shot him in chest and fled the scene with can't get right and 2 times. The whole hit went down like a cat and rat game. First T-Roy was out looking for DB. Brick spotted D-Roy and called DB who came with CGR and 2 times. T-Roy spotted them and tried to chase them down. They got away and went back to their apartment, and went back to the location with loaded weapons, dressed in all black and shot D-Roy. DB and the others were actually close to abandoning the mission. It was a huge risk. D-Roy was on full alert and it could have ended up the other way around, but it didn't. T-Roy, 23, whose real name was James Johnson, was taken to Northwestern Memorial Hospital in critical condition with a gunshot wound to the chest, and was later sadly pronounced dead.
Nigga. What? I see. In that T-Roy video, I didn't, this wasn't displayed like that. You feel me? That's crazy. Wow. So, that shit is nuts, bro. This shit is nuts. This shit ain't nuts to y'all, bro. You'll think we watching a fucking movie. These niggas, This is these niggas' lives, bro. They went up there trying to score on something. Damn. Now, I don't know how far Paxtown is from O Block. I'm not knowing. Or just that area right there. I'm not knowing. But I do remember in real time when this happened, I wasn't fully understanding on how big this was. Because when it first went down, folks were saying, oh, he used to be in Chief Keef videos. I was just thinking, oh, he used to be homies with Chief Keef. That's, you know what I'm saying? Then, like, earlier this year towards last year, okay, I finally got the boom, boom, boom. Or last year mainly, toward to now, I'm finally just gasping the whole situation. And to the point of this, Buddy went and did that, then boom, they came back, woo, woo, woo. This is, that shit, tell me that don't sound like a fire-ass action movie. Hood action movie. Like, these boys really can get a movie and sell a lot. A lot. But the thing is, this shit is real life, so it's like, how can you put that in movie form? Because if the truth come out, a lot of niggas that are still here going straight to jail. I'm talking straight to jail. Not passing go. None of that shit. Ain't no statute of limitations on the big M. I don't even know if it is on selling cocaine, but niggas talk about selling cocaine and they pass like a lot. So I think it probably is. Hell, niggas talk about the shit they did. Yeah.
We went to the store, we need high hop. Folks said then don't go, but you know folks. He wasn't trying to hear that, he was trying to get to his tracks. And daily with chill, supposed to go post on the one just to get off his pack. Then right told him, then like bros, you know it, we gotta watch our back. Told him like fuck it, they just gonna walk on the strip to see who was that on the set. But then I'm like damn, you don't see food trying to creep. Folks like damn where he at? We get out of jail, see food up the stick on my mans, and we had to run the whole lap. We went to the trap and we went to grab the gas, dressed up in all black, he double back. Then shoot a rock up game, he post got hit in his neck, but it hit his chest. He done put in the best, better go invest in the vet. Matter of fact.
Motherfucker run up on me, I will shoot you. No problem. I will fucking shoot you. Yes, I will. So if you see me and ain't no shit, leave me the fuck alone.
Bruh. And the fact that he did it after the day.
Damn, they on here talking about what you think about T-Roy getting popped. Damn, T-Roy got popped?
Why you think the cabin so?
When that happened?
Why you got a 12 car garage?
When did T-Roy get popped?
You feeling now you ride the car.
Damn, somebody popped him. Is he dead? Is he dead? Did he die? Damn, merchant, they popped T-Roy. It must don't be, it must ain't that important shit. It ain't all over the internet. I ain't see it. Shit. He must not be dead.
You know, I'm gonna figure this shit out. Just be cool out there. I call folks. It's like, this on like Valentine's Day, you see what I'm saying? I call folks and shit. I call. Now, I call my mom. My mama call. Now we try to call T-Roy, she ain't answer. Yeah, we try to call T-Roy, he ain't answer. Alright, when. Nah. What I do? Alright, I call somebody. I probably call a hoe or something. I call a Zaria, so I call a bitch or something. I call a hoe. Then, wham, I call my mama back. Now she crying and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? What you crying for? You good? You know what I'm saying? She, ooh, they shot T-Roy. T-Roy got. Now what? Who? What? Look at the phone. You know how that shit go. You in jail? You can tell. Hold on. What? Alright. Now we calling around. What's going on? He got hit once. Some shit. I'm damn. What the fuck going on out there? I'm T-Roy got shot. Look, this is the thing. Y'all don't know T-Roy. Y'all gotta leave our history of T-Roy. Y'all don't know. T-Roy got to go further. That's T-Roy. That's T-Roy. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know T-Roy like I know T-Roy. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear he get shot on, the fuck he don't want to tell me like don't be lacking. Don't be, you know. He was on me. He used to be on each other. You know what I'm saying? Cause me and him, we back to back. That's my boy. You know what I'm saying? Folks got shot. I said, hold on. I said the streets. Hold on. Who got shot? Who? Nah, he a gangster. He got shot before. He a gangster. I said the folks ain't make it on phone them out. I play it out, you know me. You know you gotta play it out. You in jail, so all type of goofy ass niggas around. You know these niggas thirsty. These niggas all of your business on King David. I walk it off. I let it sit in. Now my homie from out west, I fuck some niggas out west, Willie D and them and nigga Junior on phone them. I fuck with them niggas hard on King David. Same gang. Now they see me, I'm just walking around in circles on the deck, you know. And they put their arm around me when I'm like, damn, you good, little bro? You good? What's wrong with you, Vaughn? Yeah, I'm good. Ooh, what's wrong? You got a phone, man? I'm good, you know. Hey, what happened? I mean, they just killed T-Roy. Ooh, he what? I'm T-Roy. They just killed T-Roy. Oh, I got to break it down on King David. That shit. I couldn't help it. They hugging me. These some real niggas. You see what I'm saying? We grown ass men. Folks grab me to hold me and shit. You get to there, you gonna be alright, but you gonna be alright. Oh, hold on, boy. That's my best friend, boy. They told me they just killed my best friend while I'm in jail. I'm in that bitch gonna go crazy. Oh, I'm in that bitch, don't know what's going on. I'm in that bitch getting that. Who the fuck is y'all? I'm in that bitch mad on. Oh yeah, I'm in that bitch getting that. Nah, not my best friend. You know what I'm saying? I'm in that bitch getting that. If he get got, there ain't a lot of hope for a lot of niggas, cause he be. Y'all know how folks see his man. Niggas know T-Roy. Oh, niggas know T-Roy. Oh, let me see who up. The guys know. The guys just looking like, ooh, this nigga preaching on. Oh, no chip, you know.
Tyquan World did not stop here. 2 months later, in April, Tyquan World shot Bico, Manny and Porky from 600, and later on shot Domo from 600. But as you all know, the consequences of the murder of T-Roy would be horrific. Get Back Gang was created and dropped body after body on Jaro, STL/EBT and Tyquan World. It came out pretty quickly who it was who allegedly killed T-Roy. DB was self-snitching in songs where he said things like, "Oh Block Savage, watch him die like 600 times," along with, Get back gang my best work, and tweets saying, you all won't ever get back. FBG brick wrapped. Play with my brothers, I make one phone call. Had Bico get back on that bullshit in the song leave him right there just couple of months after the murder. But just like I said, the consequences would be horrific. The older members from a block who already had bodies under their belts, along with a couple of lion-hearted shorties formed Get Back Gang. People like E-Dog, Duke, Capfuck12, Gleesh, Moo-Wop, DQ, Macado, and not least D-Roy's little brother HK, started to turn up. Only 3 months after the murder of D-Roy, Get Back Gang killed Lil Ho from Jaro City. 1 month later, Jamo from Mob was killed. A month after that, HK killed TB's close friend Poppy from Tyquan World, with a bullet to his head. Almost exactly 1 month later, both FBG Duck's brother Brick from STL/EBT and his cousin Kobe Mac from Tyquan World were killed. Bodies were really dropped like flies. RB600 made sure to get the job done on every hit, no mistakes, and 3 months later, HK got what he promised, revenge for his brother's death.
Do you even know what the fuck you yelling? Whole block savage, watch them die 600 times. True. 40 for shorty, I squirt. Get back, ain't my best work. TWSB, we won't back roll.
Damn, these niggas said niggas are still scared of him. Bruh. This shit like the fucking Avengers in Marvel movies. You gotta go watch the old motherfuckers. Like, use a timeline with this shit. I'm talking about these videos. Bruh. Cause like, alright, it makes sense to watch this before you watch the Get Back Gang shit. You know what I'm saying? Then it also makes sense to watch the King Von shit before you watch this shit. Bruh. Like, this shit's crazy. This is real life. Niggas are not flying in outer space and beating a nigga with fucking gemstones, nigga. I just fucking spit it. I was trying to play it off. But yeah. Niggas are not. Bruh. Bro, I'm gonna have to cool off on these for a little minute, bro, cause god damn, that shit mind-boggling.
Right, she laugh herself. Right. She gon' laugh, she gon' laugh.
DB was totally heartbroken after his day one friend Poppy was shot and killed on June 16, 2017. Duke and HK found out his whereabouts and pulled to the location. HK allegedly got out of the dark-colored vehicle and shot Poppy in the head, who was later pronounced dead on the hospital. DB's former teacher I told you about earlier attended Poppy's together with DB, and that was the last day she saw him. She wrote that she was mad at him and was almost shook when she saw him walking at Poppy's wake and made some rude noise and muttered some inappropriate words. Terry left quickly that night. As Poppy's funeral ended the next day, the teacher wrote that she knew she had to talk to Terry. As she looked at him deep into his eyes and told him she was mad at him, she loved him just the same. Jesus would forgive him, she said, and that he could and should come to North Carolina with her and start his life all over again. He prayed with her. Terry never denied a prayer for him or with him. They hugged, but not for long enough. Both cried as they stood there, mostly for Poppy, and for how hard life was and how your choices do not always feel like an actual choice. She wrote that she knew that DB had lost hope, and so did she. I personally think DB knew what was coming. He saw his friends being dropped all around him, and knew that it was him they mainly were after.
You see, I be in that bitch all the time, Lola. Don't I, Pop? Pop.
I'm playing. Oh, yeah? You mean that bitch with you, bro? BDK, man. You already know me and my 10 year, my brother right here.
We sit out the block. This shit over.
Pass me that dope. He passed me that Dutchie. He's smoking out the Dutch.
I was about to say.
On September 26, 2017, DB's time would sadly come. DB was out with side from Jaro City in the 7000 block of South Chapel Avenue, which is a 3-minute walk from where he dropped T-Roy. I think DB would have survived longer if he stopped hanging out in that area. It was not smart of him to be there. O'Block knew where to look for him, just as T-Roy knew. I'm pretty sure this was not the first time HK was out in that area looking for DB. I'm pretty sure he had been looking for TB for weeks around those streets. On September 26th, he finally got him. With the help of Moose Block giving out DB's location, HK, Mac Otto and Gleish got in traffic. They drove to the location and spotted TB inside. It is rumored that HK and Mac Otto jumped out of the car. HK shot DB in the head and Mac Otto shot Side in the head, and went back to the car and sped away from the scene. DB, only 21 years old, of the 7000 block of South Paxton, was pronounced dead at 1:23 p.m. at Northwestern Hospital. Side, however, luckily and miraculously survived the headshot, but was sadly killed with motor 2 years later. Rest in peace both. Just like always when a high-profile member is killed, and especially when the member that O'Block was really out looking for was killed, it pours in mockery and disrespectful comments towards the person who was killed, in this case, DB. When TB died, it was also fully confirmed that he was the one who allegedly killed T-Roy. Lil Gerald tweeted several tweets saying, "Long live T-Roy Slayer." LC from Tyquan World called him Mr. T-Roy Slayer, and that he became a legend after he did that hit, which says a lot about what a big heart and courage, both for good and evil, DB had in the streets to take out such a high-profile member as T-Roy. Get Back Gang continued their murder spree after the death of TB. Just 2 days later, they killed Fredio from Jaro City. However, 2 months after the murder of DB, it is rumored that Tyquan World got their revenge when Lil Cho, Wooski and Skinny killed HK inside Parkway Gardens. However, a lot of people, including HK's family, are saying that this is not true and that HK was killed by other BEDs, but that story is for another video. It was fairly quiet on the streets after HK's murder, but Get Back Gang was not done. In the summer of 2018, it is rumored that Duke and Muwop dropped Can't Get Right from STL/EBT. 4 months later, Dusky from Mob was killed by 600, followed by Waldo being killed by Mob the day after. The murder of Dusky led to Wooski, along with 5 other people, getting shot at Dusky's funeral. Just 3 days into the new year, 2019, both Motor and Side from Jaro City were killed. 3 months after that, Jay Ski from the front street was killed, allegedly by Lil Rob from Jaro City and 2 times from Tyquan World. In early 2020, DQ's brother Jado was killed, allegedly by Lil Bubba and D-Money from Tyquan World. O-Block Shorties later killed FBG Duck in the summer. 2 of the shooters were allegedly C-Thang and T-Roy, Slutty and HK's brothers Al, and just a month ago, D-Money from Tyquan World was killed. This pretty much sums up the events of recent years. Tyquan World is still active, probably more active than STL/EBT in Jaro City. Much of the beef that is going on now is between O-Block Shorties and Tyquan World Shorties.
Damn, what the fuck?
About 4 months after the murder of Can't Get Right, it is rumored that it was Wooski and Noah from Hottie Way, who was close to putting away one of CGR's killers for good. It is rumored that Duke from O Block was out in traffic on a bike on 61 and Langley, when shots started to let off towards him. 7 shots were heard according to Spot News. Duke was hit in the leg and luckily managed to escape the situation. STL/EBT will probably not get such a good chance to catch him again. Duke coming out of jail in April and will be iller. Duke, along with E-Dog, Muwop and DQ are at the top of the list for STL/EBT and Jaro. They are really desperate to get them because of what they did for Get Back Gang after the murder of T-Roy. Now the story of Terry Berry is over. Usually I make a small description of the person at the end of my videos, but in this video I actually intend to use TB's old teacher's description of DB, since she actually knew him. Her name was Sarah. Terry was kind. He was the kind of guy that would see me struggling with a baby stroller and MJ, and rush over and carry it down my stairs for me. Many days after I left the ministry and moved down the street, I'd come out my front door and find him and Poppy sitting there on my porch. As long as we knew each other and were familiar as we were, he never dropped a miss from the front of my name. The kids at the ministry center where we worked called us all Mr. or Miss and our first name, Miss Sarah. But as the boys got older, and became like family, they dropped the miss. None of my boys called me Miss Sarah, except for Terry. He seemed to add that extra layer of respect, and I didn't correct him. I wasn't afraid in our neighborhood, and I wasn't disrespected many times. One of the few times I was by an older man from the neighborhood on the street while walking alone. Terry called out and let him know not to mess with me. I'm thankful for Terry and that I had the grace to know him, and love him and be a part of his story.
What's up, bro?
Thank you for watching the video. Comment on what you thought of it. Rest in peace to the people whose lives were taken in the gang wars.
What I can take away from this whole video, bro, is that dude was trying to do right early on in his life. He was just a normal fucking kid. But, bro, y'all heard the expression, property of my environment, product of my environment. That's him in the fucking sense, bro. To the point where he's trying to do right, but he had to stop doing right because he had to go through many hurdles and obstacles, obstacles to even try to do right, man. He had to catch so many buses and all this, that, and the third to even fucking go to a fucking gym and just train boxing. Alright, cool. He get a little older now. He gotta start carrying protection. Alright, then boom. You in the lifestyle so long. Now you gotta start going crazy and really put their work. It's wild, it's wild, man. And like, that shit crazy. And then like towards the end of the story, or not the story, but like the video, you see the effects of every action has a reaction to it. You see that shit. Like, this happened because that happened. This happened because of that happened. And it's like, damn. Man, that shit crazy, man. It's your boy Snore. I'm gone, man.